Let's now take a look at our first soloing block, and this is very much related to the Gary Smith concept that he taught me many years ago, what he called masking the harp. And what he would say is either mentally or physically take some tape and tape off the rest of the range of the harmonica so that you really get to know the bends that are available on each range of the harmonica and how to really utilize that range well. It really forces you to use good bending and good phrasing, basically understanding the chords and our chorus forms. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just take a look at the first two holes. To focus on everything is really to focus on nothing. Our main goal is to take a very small range and get a lot of repetitions to really get to know that range. So if we take our first two holes, what our first goal is to find out which notes match the one chord. What were focus notes? Focus notes, I stated in improvising study number 2, are one of the two most important elements for improvising. Number 1 was chorus forms, how to use repetition within the 12-bar blues. 2 was focus notes, which simply said, start on this note, it's going to match, it's going to remind you of something else you played in the past. If it doesn't, that means you need to learn more stuff so you have more things to be reminded of. So in this case, the focus notes just came from the notes of the one chord. Let's take a look at our chart. On the second chart on our first page, it says one chord. And the one chord, the root note is G, the third is B, the fifth is D, and the flat seventh is F. So we have G, B, D, F. So we're going to take a look at where our G's, B's, D's, and F's are on the harmonica. If we look at our chord tones for each hole, our first line there, our 1-7 chord, if you just go from left to right, you're going to see 1 draw, 2 draw, whole step bend, 2 draw, 3 draw, 4 draw, 5 draw, etc. Those are all the notes of the chord. So if you look at it horizontally, it'll tell you for the one chord which holes on the harmonica will match. So if you have 1 draw, that's the note D. Okay, 1 draw, D. What is D of the one chord? That's the fifth. So you're looking at your second chart. If we look at the second hole, it says 2 draw, whole step bend. What is 2 draw, whole step bend? That's F. Looking at your chart, G, B, D, F. F is the flat seventh. All right. Something with a flat in front of it's going to sound bluesy. So 2 draw, whole step bend is going to be bluesy. The 2 draw is also listed, and that's the root note. 2 draw is G, G, B, D, F. All right, so we have, of our 2 holes, we have 1 draw D, that's the fifth, 2 draw G, 2 draw, whole step bend. Let's make it simple. For our one chord, the 1 draw sounds good, the 2 draw, whole step bend sounds good, our 2 draw sounds good. What our first goal is just to say, okay, start on one of those focus notes. So I'm going to put my 12-bar blues on, make sure you've got yours queued up as well. And I'm going to play 1 draw. I'm probably going to play something close to the AAA chorus form, maybe AAB. I'm going to play 1 draw and just see where it takes me. Remember, that's what a focus note is. You just play it and see where it takes you. Then the second chorus I'm going to leave open to you, and I want you to play 1 draw and just see where it takes you. Then you probably want to pause it and experiment with that at home. Here we go. So this is just me now on the 1 draw. I'm only playing the first 2 holes. Your turn. Stay on those first 2 holes. All right, so you started with the 1 draw and you saw where it took you. You might have went, maybe you held the 1 draw. All right, and you're leaving space. Make sure to leave space. If you're filling all that space up, you're going to run out of ideas right away. All right, so there's that 1 draw. What's our next note? 2 draw, whole step bend. That's our flat seventh of the 1 chord. It's guaranteed to match, so let's see what happens. 2 bend. And I'm going to repeat. Start with the 2 bends, let's see where it takes you. next focus note for the one chord is two draw. So, goal is just to come up with a nice little rhythm there. Again, I'll take the first chorus, you get the second. Leave a little space. Start with the two draw and see where it takes you. All right, our next step is to think, all right, we've got our one draw, our two draw whole step, and our two draw. What techniques do we have available to us? Well, there isn't a lot of textures because we're all low on the harmonica, but we've got rhythm, right? Those short ideas, long ideas. All right, what about slaps? Yeah, pair that with pulls. Yeah, well, it sounds nice. That adds a nice rhythm to it. Yeah, so that's a nice thing. What else? There really isn't much. One draw, two draw together. Oh, tap, 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 tap. Yeah, there's not a lot available. So a lot of it's going to have to do with your phrasing. Our chorus forms, A, B, all that type of stuff. So your goal now would be just to improvise a little bit and move around that range of the harmonica for multiple choruses, right? Let me give you an example. I'm going to play two choruses now, and then you'll want to pause after this and then try to stay on the first and second hole. And actually, three choruses makes more sense because we have three focus notes, right? One draw, two draw, whole step, and two draw. Be cautious not to play too many fills. Be cautious not to play too much. So for example, if I play the one draw, if one draw is my focus, I don't want to use a lot of two draw and two draw bend because that's going to steal my fire away from when I do go to my two draw or my two draw whole step bend. A lot of this has to do with what we studied earlier on with, if I'm doing that procession of notes where I focus on the first three holes for one chorus, and the next chorus comes, I go 1 through 4, and now I'm going to focus on the 4 draw. If I was playing the first three holes and I kept hitting the 4 draw, when the next chorus came and I presented that 4 draw, it would have stolen some power away from that 4 draw. So play a little bit more repetitive than you may want to, or your gut may tell you, and then also play a little bit less active than you might normally want to play. So I'm going to play 3 choruses. One draw focus note, two draw whole step bend focus note, two draw focus note. And I'm trying to think about rhythms, length, all that good stuff. Techniques. Okay, so 3 choruses, then just pause it and give it a try yourself at home.